Trump's way of dealing with Ukraine continues to be the only logical way, and because of that, it's very, very popular. Watch the moment that this CNN anchor realizes how popular Trump is on this issue.
I think the easiest way we can kind of just ask this is, do Americans like the way that Trump's handling his job and compare it to how they felt about Joe Biden? So this is the net approval rating. You look at Joe Biden back in 2024, he was 22 points underwater. Holy cow. You look at Donald Trump, it's just a different planet entirely. I mean, the gulf between these two is wider than the Gulf of America or Mexico, depending on which side of the aisle you stand on. He's at +2. So look, at this particular point, Americans are giving Donald Trump the benefit of the doubt. He's doing considerably better than Joe Biden was doing on the handling of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. And so on this simple question, I think Americans are saying, okay, Donald Trump's doing all right on this.
What about specifically on how they feel about bringing the war to an end?
Yeah, okay. So, look, questions on this can be quite complicated, but I think this kind of gets at sort of where the American trend line is. Americans on the Russia-Ukraine war want a quicker end of the war, but Russia keeps its captured land. Look at this, 50%. Bare majority coming in here. Support Ukraine's right to fight, even if it means a longer war. That's at 48. This is very, very close. But the trend line on this question is so important because that want a quick end of the war, look at this. You go back to August of 2022, it was at 31%. Now we're at 50%. I mean, that is a rocket ship upwards in terms of the Americans who want a quick end to the war, even if it means Russia keeps the captured Ukraine land.
So I'll tell you the reason why Americans like Trump's handling of Ukraine more. It's actually not because of his policy. It's really not. And the reason why I say that is because most Americans don't understand Trump's policies and have not actually spent the time to look into them because it takes a lot of time. And I don't blame people. They've got actual lives to live. The reason why is because of what they say at the end of that clip. More of Americans right now want the war to end than ever. Because right when the war started, people might have thought, yeah, we could draw this out before $300 billion was spent. We thought, yeah, this could be good. Russia clearly is doing evil things. Ukraine doesn't deserve to be invaded like this. Let's keep it going. But as time goes on and we're seeing inflationary spirals, we don't want it anymore. And again, and this is the fundamental reason why they like Trump, Biden did nothing to end the war, ever. He just kept it going. In fact, again, he wanted it to continue. And even though most people do not understand Trump's strategy or policy position regarding Ukraine, they understand this one thing. He is actually trying to end the war. That is like the fundamental split between Democrats and Republicans right now, and especially between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Is Biden wanted the war to continue, and Donald Trump wants the war to end. And again, it's like funny how that happens. If you just try to actually end war and have peace, people will respect you rather than doing what Biden did and give $300 billion to Ukraine in the same time that there's an inflationary spiral at home. And even though, again, this is like really important, I think, the average American does not understand everything about the Russia-Ukraine conflict. They now understand one basic root fact. It's been around, this conflict has been around long enough at this point for people to understand one basic fact. And it's that Ukraine is not going to take back the lost land without U.S. troops on the ground. The Donbass region in Crimea that was taken in 2014, it's donezo. It's donezo unless essentially we put U.S. troops on the ground and start World War III. That's the only way we're getting it back, and that's not going to happen. And so if that's the case, what are we doing here, guys? Why are we still fighting? And again, Americans understand this. They do understand this basic fact. It's like if Ukraine's not going to really lose more ground and they're not going to gain back their ground, then just end the fighting. Why are we doing this? If the odds of territory shifts are almost zero, then literally what is anyone fighting for right now? No one is fighting for anything. The Russians aren't fighting for anything. They're not going to take more ground. The Ukrainians are fighting to take back the land they want, but they know deep down that the odds of that are almost zero. And Americans know it's zero. And so they have no incentive to keep the fighting going. And again, Americans really understand this. Trump understands this. And that's why they support Trump on this so hard. And I do predict that because of Donald Trump and his great foreign policy, I love Donald Trump on his foreign policy, I think the fighting in Ukraine will end in the next couple months. This tax season, don't forget to file your taxes, guys, because you can actually make a lot of money. I've partnered with a business that hates the IRS as much as you do, so they fight to get you every dollar back possible. Quick Tax America. Quick Tax America has already gotten its average tax returner $3,000 back from the IRS, and they do all federal tax returns for only $69. It's a completely transparent price because it's their only price, no matter how complicated your taxes are. They do all the work as well, unlike the big services where you're spending 4 hours and you don't know how much it costs till the very end. They have the transparent price. All you have to do with them is simply upload your files, answer a few basic questions, and schedule a 15-minute finish your tax return call with a professional, and they do all the rest. So go check them out at quicktaxamerica.com, or you can go to the link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you haven't already, go down below, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and watch another video.